Welcome to the Hometown Scene with Jenny. I'm Jennifer Johnson, and I'm glad to be here again. We're here a couple weeks ago. We're doing a show every other week, and then when it gets busy enough, we'll do one every week. But we're here at the beautiful Wofford Theater, and Hamilton County Calendars is our sponsor, HamiltonCountyCalendars.com. to be exact. And it's been online since 1992. It was part of the original Noblesville.com. Then it got moved to be its own standalone, and it's now again with Noblesville.com as well as its own website. So check out HamiltonCountyCalendars.com because there's all kinds of things happening locally, and we just know there's a big need. And
most important, they can add their own events.
You can add your, that's a very good thing. And we talk to our producer all the time too, and he makes a good point. You need to get on there if you've got an event happening in Hamilton County, but it actually is not just closed to Hamilton County. We have had a couple guests, Bob, before you. You're my third guest on my Hamilton County, or the Hometown Scene with Jenny. So you get that, and then whatever. But we want everybody to know that you can go there and put your own events on, and it doesn't have to be Hamilton County. So check it out. Bob Hansen with Bethel Lutheran Church is here today. I get to spend a lot of time with Bethel people this week. We had Joe, Rudy, and then we had Bob on before.
Back in the spring.
Back in the spring on my other show, Jennifer to the Rescue. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention the other show, but I'll bring it. But Bob, what are you here to talk about? Tell me what's going on at Bethel.
Well, I'm here to talk about one of the activities sponsored by the Bethel Missions Committee. And of course, I always bring my B cubed.
Yes.
This is the prop for our Missions Committee, which stands for Blessings Beyond Bethel. It's where we take the work of the church and the work and love of Christ out to the broader world. We have missions here in Indiana. We have missions nationwide, and we have missions around the world. And so one of the things that we try to do, what we really emphasize with our missions, is relationship. That is, that it's not just a matter of sending off some money someplace. We like to get to know the missions that we partner with. We like to engage with them in conversation, in prayer. But it just so happens in the real world that oftentimes doing mission work requires some finance.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we do at Bethel in order to provide the finance for our mission projects is to sponsor various activities. And I'm here today to tell you about one that's coming up on September 25th. It's Dan's Fish Fry.
Dan's Fish Fry.
It's sponsored at Bethel.
Okay. Tell us where Bethel is.
Okay, Bethel is on the northeast corner of 206th Street and Cumberland in Noblesville. And our event is going to be Friday, September 25th,
yes,
from 4:30 until 7. And Dan's Fish Fry is going to be on site. They are going to provide a meal of all-you-can-eat fish or chicken. We call it a fish fry, but chicken will also be available. So it's all you can eat, fish or chicken. And to supplement that, of course, there'll be the usual sides like coleslaw and tartar sauce and those kind of things. But to supplement the menu, the people of Bethel are contributing salads and are contributing desserts. Now, many of the salads and many of the desserts are going to be homemade. And I can tell you, this is the fourth time we're going to do this event at Bethel, and I can tell you from personal experience that those homemade salads, and particularly those homemade desserts, are extraordinarily popular.
Well, Bethel does a good job on their cooking. I mean, their baking and their salads. I'm glad to hear they have salads and desserts.
Yes.
Because when you started saying it, I'm thinking, just desserts? No, we got to have the salads too. But Bethel's known for good food.
We do have, and of course there are beverages. Their tea, lemonade, water, and coffee will be available on site. If people want to bring their own soda, they're certainly welcome to do that. And the fish and the chicken are prepared fresh on site, so we're going to have them freshly breaded and freshly cooked on site. They will be served steaming hot and delicious. Dan's Fish Fry has been in business for 38 years.
I can't imagine.
And they Dan started operating his business out of two school buses that he would drive around to various venues.
Wow.
And the school buses are now long gone. He's got vans that he circulates these days. And as I say, the breading and the food preparation is done fresh on site, and I know because I've helped. And so it's a way of making sure that the food is fresh, and it's very good. It
smells wonderful. And you also were going to tell about, I think you were probably getting to that, but people line up for this hours before. Not hours.
Well, maybe not hours before, but we open it. We open at 4:30.
I'm going to be in line here this afternoon, even for the 25th. You got me all. My mouth's watering. And Jim's camping out.
If I can get people fired up this afternoon, I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah.
So people typically do. They line up in advance.
Yeah.
Dan's got a following. Many, of course, are Bethel members, but not everyone. And this event is open to the community. We encourage everybody to show up, turn out, have a great time. Prices. I need to talk about prices. For adults, the tickets are $9 in advance. They are $10 at the door.
Okay.
For youth 6 to 12, they're $6 in advance and $8 at the door. And for people who are interested in getting the advance ticketing, the information is right on the screen as I'm speaking.
Yeah,
it's D. Baskerville at Comcast.net. D is our project person for this event, and she has been busy as a little bee doing publicity and making sure that the arrangements are taken care of, and Dee will be glad to provide people information about advance ticketing. So that's what we do. As I say, the event is always extremely popular. This is the 4th year that we will have done it. The proceeds, some of the money goes to help support the operation of the Bethel Kitchen, but primarily the funds raised from this event go to support our mission efforts throughout the country and all around the world.
And I think when you were on last time on my other show, you explained a lot about the missions.
Right now we have 18 of them.
Wow.
And we do a wide range of things. One of the things that we'd like to do, perhaps with this money, is to make it possible for one of our tech support people to go to visit our, as I said, it's about relationship, is to go visit our mission partner in Miami and to assist them with some of their audio-visual needs.
That sounds like
and
a
so
great
this would be one of the things that we can do with the funds that we raise from this event. So it's an all-you-can-eat event, so please come, turn out. I think you'll find that you enjoy it, and when you are finished, if you happen to look around and take a look at our beautiful church building,
there you go.
You might happen to be sufficiently taken with the property and the things, the spirit that you see and find moving at Bethel, that you might want, if you're looking for a church home, come on back on Saturday afternoons at 5:30 or Sunday mornings at 8, 9:30, or 11.
Yeah.
We would be delighted to have you come and visit our church.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was going to say that after you said it. But BethelLutheranChurch.com, you're going to find some information on it.
And it's on
sure.
HamiltonCountyCalendars.com.
Now it is,
that
yes.
event is also listed there, along, and Dee's email address is there.
Yes. Thank you so much, and we're going to say goodbye to Bob for now, but you're going to be back in a couple weeks to make sure everybody knows about it, because it's still a couple weeks off.
That's right.
Thanks for coming, Bob.
You are welcome.
We'll be right
A
back.
pleasure.
Don't go anywhere. We got more to share with you.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Welcome back. Every time I talk, it just kind of stumbles. I don't know. Jennifer Johnson here with the Hometown Scene with Jenny. How do you find me? I'm Jennifer Johnson. I'm Jennifer to the Rescue, and I do have a show that happens to be on Tuesdays on this very same website. It's kind of funny to say that instead of station. But anyway, you can check me out at jennifertotherescue.com, or you can give me a call at 317-513-6823. And we are here at the beautiful Wofford Theater, and we are so happy. HamiltonCountyCalendars.com is our sponsor. If you hadn't heard about that, you need to go check it out. And we're talking about events. You have some events, Tracy, right, but you're going to tell us a little bit about you first.
Yes.
And Tracy Line is my wonderful guest today. And Tracy, nice to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just glad that I have good people out there that put me in touch with other good people. Tracy, tell us about you. I mean, you've written a book. That's
yes,
what we're going to go to that, but who's Tracy Line?
Well, I am Tracy Line, and I've been a resident of Noblesville for about 9 years now. And I'm a freelance writer, so I write for some of the...
I think it's amazing that you do that. I mean, I wish I knew how to write.
Well, I started writing maybe when I was in my 30s, so I've been writing about, I don't know, about...
I was going to say
about 2 years, anywhere from 2 to 18 years, somewhere in that frame. But I just started writing and getting published, and I just loved it. Found out I loved it, so I had quit my former job to stay home with my kids, so I wrote from home always, and did a lot of freelancing for different parenting magazines, and I've written on everything, but I've always wanted to write a book, so it just took me a while to get there and to know what I wanted to write about, but I decided in 2013 that I really wanted to step my freelancing work down a little bit and create some time to write. So I just started writing this book, and it's been a joy ever since. And I worked with a professor at Ball State, kind of became my writing coach.
Really?
And she helped me, because writing creatively is very different from writing an article, on a freelance article. So, you know, an article has a structure to it, but books also have a structure to them.
Oh, do they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I shouldn't write a book.
And it was wonderful. She's a professor at Ball State, Lynn Jones, Dr. Jones, and she worked with me, and we kind of played around with some ideas, and I put it all together, and it took about 18 months to write.
Oh, wow.
So, but and I really didn't know what I was gonna. I originally started wanting to write a book on miracles, but I just wasn't happy with how it was turning out. So instead, I just took some creative time and wrote free writing, and this is kind of what happened. And this book, Chasing God, is a faith memoir. And wonderful. It is kind of based on my life.
My hands are in the way.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Chasing God.
I didn't grow up going to church, so my story is a little bit different from, at least I thought it was a little different from a lot of other people. And I actually watched the televangelists in my basement when I was little. As young as 4, I can remember watching the 700 Club.
Yes.
Which is not, what most 4-year-olds are watching. Most of them are watching Cowboy Bob if you're from Indiana.
So, yeah, you're kind of an odd 4-year-old.
Yeah, I know. I just was always kind of seeking God and asking a lot of questions. I had a lot of friends that were Catholic, and I would kind of observe their families. And I had a lot of good experiences, but I had a lot of awkward experiences as well. I went to church camp at 15 and was really uncomfortable with kind of the scene there, but the book captures my stories. Some are positive, some are negative, but ultimately I did develop a very strong faith by the time I became an adult, and I just want to share that with people. If I hadn't been persistent, it would have been easy as an outsider to not follow my heart and keep working, and I could have easily just let that slide. But because I was persistent with my faith, I think it made a huge difference in my life. I'm a much happier person, and I want everyone to experience that. So I think if there are people out there that are kind of on that borderline, they don't go to church, I would encourage them to read this book and maybe find out if indeed it is a thing that would be good for them.
Oh, that's a great way. Now, I'm just going to ask, because when you said you tried to write a book about miracles, had you had some miracles in your world that
No, not really
Oh.
specifically for me, but I was interviewing people from all over the country and collecting their stories, and it was fascinating. But to tell someone's story in words versus telling someone's story person to person, you lose a little bit of depth. And I was just struggling to make their stories what I wanted them to make them, as amazing as they could be. And I haven't shelved that project. I still have it, but it was just I felt like it wasn't working. And then when I started writing this, it just started coming out, all my stories from childhood and.
There's a
things that were
miracle
going
in
on.
its own. You've just written this book that, I mean, I'm thinking when I've talked to you, because we met before this and chatted about what you did, and then you emailed me, that's got to be such a, it's kind of like, I'm a singer, so when I sing, it's kind of like I'm putting everything out there.
Oh yeah,
and that's what
to
it is
say
when
it's
you're doing.
Scary would be an understatement.
And then
because the book is very personal, it tells a lot about my life, and so it could cause judgment. But I just felt like I had to do it, and it was amazing to see all the doors open along the way, and the way one person led me to another person, who led me to another person, who led me to a publisher, and it kind of just all fell into place. So that kind of kept me going, and even though it was scary to put my words out there, I felt like I was going in the right direction. So that made a big difference for
That's
me.
exciting. You're
and-
going to
and-
write that miracle book. You know, it'll come
I hope
because
so.
you'll
I
have
hope
gone
there's
through-
another book coming, because I'd love to do it.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, what's interesting, too, is I've gotten a ton of feedback from it, from people that have read it. And while I thought my story was so unusual, I'm not sure that it was. A lot of people have said, I can relate to your story is my story. I felt, I've cried when I read this part. I laughed really hard when I read this part. And that makes it real. So I think even though my story may be a little different, maybe it isn't. Maybe universally we all have our own story and we can connect with our experiences.
So my little confession is that I told Tracy I haven't read it yet. I've got it, and I'm excited because it looks like it's great. And it is. And I read somewhere in the information you gave me, there's some reviews, or I think that were very positive.
I've gotten really good reviews so far on Amazon, so I'm very, very pleased.
So
My publisher's really excited. 'cause
I'm
it's gotten really good
promising
reviews.
here on internet television that I am going to read this,
Okay,
but I
we'll check
need
back
to read
with you.
But when you said that, because I grew up as a Methodist, and we went to church, but I think your story is probably a lot more.
I think you're right. That's what I'm discovering. I felt like I was an outsider looking in, but maybe really I wasn't. Maybe all of us are kind of outsiders looking in as we try to deepen our faith and grow in our faith.
Exactly. So now before we're going to find out, you've got some book signings that are coming up. Actually, you have one on September 13th.
Yes, Barnes & Noble's in Noblesville. I'll be there September 13th from 12:30 to 2:30 signing copies. I'll also be at a Corner Cottage on September 19th, which is the weekend of the Old Mill Festival.
Okay.
So that should be a fun time. And then the Fisher's Library is having an author fair called Booktoberfest, and that's October 10th,
cool.
and I'll be there as well.
Your website was up on the screen a few minutes ago. What is your website? Because we're going to come back and talk to you a little bit more, because we're not completely done. But how do they find you?
It's just my name, so it's just www.tracyline.com.
Okay, cool.
And all the information about my signings is there. There's information about the book there as well.
And to top it all off, she's put it on Hamilton County calendars,
it's there too. It's
We're
everywhere.
really trying to make sure everybody knows about Hamilton County calendars. Actually, Hamilton County calendars has been online since 1992. And it was originally part of the Noblesville.com website. It's still there, but for a while it actually at one point was pulled off and was done its own independent, created its own. But we're just trying to let people know this is your calendar.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
a
go
great
out.
resource.
So, like Bob, our first guest here this morning, was saying that, here he goes to Bethel, and they don't use it. Now they will, and hopefully you'll be able to share it with others.
Yeah,
that
I think it's a great resource.
Yeah. So we're gonna. If I don't hurt myself first, we're going to come back and talk with Tracy a little bit more. TracyLine.com, and she's going to tell us some more stuff about her. We'll figure out what we haven't learned, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Welcome back to Jennifer. No, it's the hometown scene with Jenny. Okay, let's try this again. It's the hometown scene with Jenny. I just have so much fun at this place. I kind of lose all track of what is actually going on. Jennifer to the Rescue. I'm Jennifer Johnson, and you can check out jennifertotherescue.com online, or you can give me a call at 317-513-6823. We're here at the beautiful Wofford Theater, which is just adjacent from Logan Street Signs and Banners and Trophy Shop right here in Noblesville on 10th Street. And the Wofford Theater, by the way, is available for rental. If you are interested in renting it out, there's a 32-seat theater here that has a wonderful big... It has the big feel, but it's an intimate setting, so it's kind of neat for, well, it's neat for a lot of groups. And Jim has actually reported he's got 2 birthday parties this weekend, or coming up? Coming up.
114, 160.
Oh, wow, okay, so he's got, he's got a lot going on, and probably be able to check that out on HamiltonCountyCalendars.com. If it's not there, you will get it there so that you can know. We're visiting here with Tracy Line, who is a Noblesville resident and wrote a wonderful book called Chasing God, Finding Faith from the Outside Looking In. And like I already disclosed that I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to be honest. I am going to read it this weekend. I'm excited, actually. I'll have to just curl up under a blanket or something. It's supposed to be really hot, so I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Yeah, with the air conditioning.
Yeah, with the air conditioning. But Tracy, we were talking about the book, and there were some things that you were going to just kind of share about the book that maybe would...
Yeah, this book, it's a collection of essays, is what it is, and it starts from my childhood and kind of talks about how I found faith growing up, and then on into my adulthood. So there's some kind of interesting stories about when I was little and watched televangelists, trying to figure out what a Christian even is. That was a big question for me. Right. I didn't understand. And a lot of times, since our family didn't go to church, and we didn't talk about church a lot or God a lot in our house, so I knew my parents were believers, but I didn't really know where they stood. So when I would go to church with friends, I wasn't ever sure what my parents thought of that. So there's a lot of underlying themes about my family and about my mom specifically in this book, because there was a time when I went to a really evangelical church camp and came back and was happy and saved and talking about it. And I don't think she was really pleased. I got kind of a mixed reception from her. Yeah. So it was very confusing to me, knowing she was a believer, what's a believer look like? What's a believer act like? So that's, I think, what sort of drove my search as well. And it's interesting because my mom passed away in 2014, and I touch a lot in the remaining chapters about learning more about her when she was in her last couple of years, what she was like and what her faith was like. And she did indeed have a faith. And there's a lot of kind of hidden mysteries at the end of the story, but I won't go into that.
Yeah, don't reveal
it. Ruin it for you because you need to read it this weekend.
Because now if you give it away, I won't have to read it. Cliff Note. Oh, there's Cliff Note. Right. But this is available on Amazon, by the way.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. It's also at The Wild and Living Truth Bookstore and
Oh, wow.
Nickel Plate as well.
Wow, you've
So,
got it all
yeah.
over the place. But
Yeah, it's been
so,
such
and
fun.
it's gotten good reviews,
Yeah.
and you're doing book signings.
Yes, I've been doing book signings. I have one on September 13th at Barnes and Nobles. And
Here in
that's from-
Noblesville, Jim.
Yep, here
It's
in Noblesville.
actually just across the way at 37.
Is it close to White Castle?
It's
Yeah,
it is.
across the
It
street.
is, yeah, it's close to White
You
Castle.
can do both in one trip.
Silly guy. Okay,
So that
you-
one's at 12:30 to 2:30, and then the following weekend I'll be at a corner cottage, and that's on the 19th, September 19th, from 11 to 1.
And that's downtown Noblesville.
Yeah, right on the square in downtown Noblesville, and the Old Mill Festival will be going on, so it should be just a fun weekend in general. I'm excited just to be out in the midst of
Yeah,
that.
how fun.
So yeah, and then also I'll be at the Fisher's Library for Booktoberfest, which is their author fair,
In
and
October,
that's
I
October
would
10th.
assume.
Yes, that's
Okay.
in October. Yeah.
And the good thing is you've got them on Hamilton County calendars.
Yes,
so
all of them
go
are on
check-
Hamilton County
yes.
calendars. They're all on my website as well.
And
so
the
easy to
website.
find.
And what is your website?
It's tracyline.com. It's just my name.
Okay, we
Yep,
wanna
and I have a
always-
blog as well, so I write the blog there, and I also write about faith and family on my blog too.
Hey, so excited. I can't wait to really get the book down and then be able to talk like I really understand it.
You can find her on Facebook and Twitter.
You can
Yep,
find
I'm
her on
also on
Facebook and Twitter.
That's
okay,
right. Yep,
great.
yep.
There she is. Okay. We were talking, now you've obviously got some book signings.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for in opportunities? What?
Well, I'm going to be doing some speaking about it. I've already done a few events, and then it's interesting because one of the gals that bought my book, she bought it and read it, and then she later told me she's affiliated with the MOPS group, which is Mothers of Preschoolers.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to be doing some talking with them. She's going to be recommending me to those groups. So it is something I want to do to any kind of the book actually has questions at the end of each chapter, so it's perfect for a small group or for a Bible study, that kind of thing. And I would be happy to come and speak at no charge to those groups if they want to read the book. Actually, at Geist Christian Church, which is my home church, there's about 3 different Bible study groups there that are reading through it, and then I'll go and talk to them at the end.
So, just while I'm thinking about it, not to take, but have you talked to Denise about using this at Bethel?
I haven't actually, yeah.
Now that
And
you
you
just
think
said
that would
that.
be, the first thing
Yeah.
I'd say, but I
Well,
will.
Denise Rosonia has a show here, and she's written a book, and she was actually the
Yeah.
contact.
She's a great
She
girl.
was the connection for
Yes,
us.
yeah.
And then when you were saying that, I'm thinking, well, I would think any church
Yeah.
would be.
Oh yeah, and actually I do want to reach out to some of the churches. It's been one thing after another.
Oh, I'm
Released
sure.
July 1st, and that's my next step is to kind of work with some of the local churches and see about getting
Cool.
into some of their small groups. So.
Well, we're looking forward to being a part of, or seeing what happens, and you
Yeah.
can keep coming back and telling us when you've got
Sure
other
thing.
events, and we thank you for putting the information on before you were on today, so people can go and look. The idea is to get everybody to look at Hamilton County Calendars.
Yeah.
.com. Yes, it's plural, HamiltonCountyCalendars.com. If you're a church, you're a nonprofit, you're an author, you have book signings, you're a musician, I've got to go do that because I thought about that. I've got an event tomorrow night that I had forgotten to put on there. But I'm Jennifer Johnson, and this is the Hometown Scene with Jenny. I remembered it now. And we're trying to really get people to look at Hamilton County calendars. It's been online since 1992. It's the official calendar of Noblesville.com. And actually in 1992, I think that was 4 years before the city of Noblesville even had a
Wow,
website.
that's amazing.
So that was right?
About that.
So, in 1992, most people didn't even really know what a website was. So
Probably didn't have a computer.
might not even had a computer. Tracy, we are so glad you came. One more time, your website, I want to make sure you're
Yeah.
getting to say the final.
It's my name, so it's www.tracyline.com.
And it's TRACYLINE,
Yes.
just in case you're listening on the radio and you want to check it out. We thank you, and we'll hope that you'll be visiting us again.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. I
You're
love it.
welcome. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the book. Just to let you know, this weekend, I'm sure we have our Saturday Farmers Market here in Noblesville on Saturday. Probably have it's Thursday night, so if you're listening to this, I think they would have the Thursday market. It's not on the square, but it's off in the alley, and you probably can find it if you drive around the square for a few minutes. I'm not sure the actual address. And we also have music on the square on Friday night. And there's probably...
Noblesville Parks has their movie on Saturday.
And
Oh,
Noblesville
wow.
Parks has
Lots
their
going on.
movies on Saturday. Their movie on
Wofford
Saturday,
Theater is one of the
which
sponsors.
Wofford Theater is one of the sponsors. I don't know the stuff. I'm just a puppet. And yes, whatever. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope that you'll check us out. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and Tracy will be back in the near future, I hope, to tell us more book signings. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll see you soon.